What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here to talk about the End of an Era event that is currently live on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. So this is the brand new event where you can go ahead and get your hands on a brand new free-to-play Whitebeard character. You do actually need to farm his limit break materials on this event. You only need, I think it's, anywhere between like 10, 12, something in that range. You don't actually need that many of these orbs, and the drop rate is okay, so it's not going to take you too long in order to actually max this brand new unit. But on top of that, you can get skill books for all of the new batch and some of the more other recent release characters, such as the V2 Enel, if you were lucky enough to pull him, as well as the Kizuna Sparrow for some reason as well. So interestingly enough, we go over to the Chopper Man missions as well, and we go over to the special missions, and this event is very similar to some of the ones that we've seen previously with batch releases. And there's events where you can drop stuff that is worth points, and there's point boosters for the event, and you can get a bunch of rewards, lots of rainbow gems. You've got some rumble scrolls, you've got candy, of course. There's lots of good rewards. There's a legend ticket there as well, which is nice. So yeah, this is a really good opportunity to go ahead and farm this event, use some of the new characters that you were lucky enough to pull in the brand new Sugo Fest. But before we actually get into this event, where I have 4 different teams for you guys that can beat this event, let's go ahead over to the character and actually have a look at this brand new free-to-play Whitebeard that we're all going to be farming for. So this Whitebeard is a Dex Powerhouse Free Spirit. I like that he has those classes because it means that he works directly with versus Ace, and he can work with versus Kaido as well, so you can use him on both sides. So this unit, Captain effect is a boosting Powerhouse and Free Spirit by 2.5, and then boost their attack by 3.25 on your below 50% health. Not an amazing Captain effect, but his special ability, which after you max his limit break completely with all of his orbs, he goes down to a 12-turn cooldown, and it will go ahead and do a 15% health cut that ignores everything, and then reduces Despair and decrease Chain Multiplier by 3 turns, and then boost Color Affinity of Free Spirit and Powerhouse by 1.75 for 1 turn. It's a really good special, but you can see that there is an added effect at the very start of the special that I just ignored because we can talk about it now. It mentions you can only use his special ability twice per quest. You're very restricted as to how many times you can use it, and you may think that's a bit of a weird condition, and I do think it is a little bit of a strange one, but once you have a look at the rest of his abilities, you can understand why they would restrict you to only using it twice per quest. Because if you go over to his crewmate ability, he obviously has this one where it's just a stat boost, but this one is crazy because it reduces his own special charge time by 6 turns every time another special is launched. So because he has such a low cooldown, obviously with his limit break, he goes down to a 12-turn cooldown. It means that you can get his special to be launched over multiple stages, which is so useful. You can have Despair, Chain Removal, you get a health cut that goes through everything, and also Color Affinity to 2 separate classes, although, you are restricted to only using it twice per quest. So despite the restrictions and drawbacks of the character, this unit is great. He's a good free-to-play unit. He's going to be used in not a lot of teams, but he's going to be used here and there. Obviously going to be a point booster for this event as well, and he should be a point booster likely in the upcoming treasure map as well. So that is pretty much all the stuff that we need to talk about in terms of the Whitebeard and the event. So now let's go ahead and move on to the 4 different teams I have for you guys, which can take on the 8-star difficulty of this quest. So jumping into this event, the first team is going to be one of the more optimal teams that you can use for this event, using double versus Ace. And you'll see here on stage 3 you have Kizaru. Now on stage 3 here, all of your characters will get special reversed by 2 turns. If one of your captains is Ace, it's great because he just resists the special reverse, but he only has 800,000 health, so he's actually really easy to get through. And then the stage after this, you have to face Kuzan. Kuzan has 6 million health. He's a strength unit, and he will give you 4 turns of special bind and 4 turns of paralysis, and he changes all of your slots into badly matching. So the Luffy's really good here from the batch because he gets rid of those debuffs and changes some of your slots around. And of course, if you're running double Ace, you can use one of the Ace specials to get those orbs, of course, in the orb boost. And then the final stage against the Kaido, he has 8 million health, and he is a Dex unit, and he will have a full immunity buff. He's going to have 5 turns of defense up, blue shield, and 5 turns of damage threshold, as well as also rewinding all of your specials by 2 turns. So again, this is why Ace is great. Just having the captain ability to resist the special reverse is ridiculously valuable. The Aokiji is great because he gets rid of the defensive effects as well as giving you an attack boost, and the Whitebeard can give you an affinity boost. So overall, one of the more optimal teams, as I mentioned, for this particular event. So I'll leave you guys with the rest of this clip with Ace's special animation, and we'll pick things up in the next team. For the rest of the teams you guys will be seeing in this video, we're not using any of the new batch, aside from if it's going to be a friend captain, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But for this particular team, we're utilizing the super type Kaido with a friend captain versus Akainu. A great combination of units here. Of course, remember with Akainu's captain effect, he is a driven and a powerhouse captain. So with this team, we've got Zoro to get rid of the threshold in the final stage. We've got Akainu because he's a really high point booster for the event, and he gives our characters that are powerhouse units on this team a color affinity boost. We've also got the Weevil character, which came out with the previous event, and he is an orb booster for our team, which is great. And we also got Kamazo, who's just a boosted unit for this event, and he gets rid of the enemy's increased defense. So with this team, it's more of a stally-based team. It doesn't really get through it super quick. I mean, you could probably optimize it in a way to make it a little bit faster, but one thing you do have to note, and I did use a team very similar to this on stream, is that you can't really stall if you're bringing like non-boosted units, because of the fact that whenever you take damage, Akainu inflicts them with burn, and at that point it's really hard to stall for your specials because the burn is going to be killing everything. And even if you are stalling and you take a bit of damage, Kaido is going to hit them with his captain effect activation, which launches his special ability. So if you are using this effect, you have to be very, very careful when using these two characters together. But if you are using boosted units like in this team here, you can allow the enemy's burn and increased damage taken to just whittle away at their HP if you need to stall, if it is against one of those boss stages, because Kaido does have a lot of HP, which is nice to see. But you know, once you do launch all the specials, the amount of damage you actually have is pretty crazy. And as we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, is that these particular bosses with Aokiji and Akainu, they don't really have that much health, and a lot of the more recently released characters that you'll be seeing are not going to have any issue with this content at all. So we'll leave you guys with the rest of this clip here, utilizing versus Akainu as a friend captain, and we'll move on to the third team. The third team in this video is definitely one of the more optimal teams that you could use to just beat this event without having any of the brand new rare recruits. We have the new free-to-play Whitebeard here as a sub, but we're using Lucy, and Lucy is actually a point booster for this event. So as long as you have a strength, dex, and quick character on your team, so with a friend captain ace and the Whitebeard sub, you fulfill all the conditions, so you can fill out the team with whatever you want. Stampede Buggy's fantastic for the Aokiji stage because he removes the paralysis and the special bind, and even on the Aokiji stage when he gives us a full board of badly matching slots, with Lucy 6+'s captain effect, he makes all of those slots beneficial anyway, so it actually works out so perfectly. We've got Bobbin to get rid of the defensive effects on the last stage, and we also have the Weevil, the new free-to-play Weevil, who's technically not boosted by Ace's captain ability, still boosted by Lucy's, but he's just a nice unit to bring because he is a boosted unit for this event. Definitely a replaceable unit. You can replace Weevil with whatever you want, but you know, you got to do what you got to do in order to get through the content. And you know, if you want to get through it quicker, it's better to use some of those point boosters. But this team was extremely fast, so if you guys need a team for content, this is definitely one that I would highly suggest. The final team in this video is kind of an offshoot one that you're going to be using to farm content with, but this is going to be utilizing the brand new V2 Enel. Enel is also a point booster unit on this event. He's only a 1.1 point booster, and unfortunately the rest of the characters on this team are not going to be point boosted. There are like no Psy units that are actually point boosted for this event. Like I know V2 Sanji 6+ is, but like V2 Sanji 6+ doesn't really have a lot going for him when you're using Enel. But, you know, anyways, the characters on this team, you know, we've got Garp, who gets rid around the special reverse on the final stage. We've got the Jinbei, who's great versus the Aokiji stage to get rid of the special bind and the paralysis. And we've got Robin to get rid of the defensive effects on the final stage too. And also having access to Gemma 66 does make this stage against Aokiji a lot easier to deal with. On the final stage, all we have in terms of damage is going to be Garp's effect to give us a 1.75 attack boost. And also we have the 2 Enel specials, which is going to give us 2 health cuts against the enemy, and because when we launch Enel special, we will actually get his effect to do end of turn damage. So as long as Enel is the last character to attack, or one of the last characters to attack, we actually get pretty good damage output from his end of turn damage, which is kind of nice, but not the most optimal team for clearing the content, but still a really fun team I wanted to show you guys in this video today. That is going to end it today though. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.